Your circuits are so narrow for the beholder that you must practice to expand. Without this expansion, the encounter is perhaps even painful. Breath, expand your breath, expand your abilities to open onto us, onto you, onto all that is. You must learn to balance your ego function. Your ego is a necessary requirement, as you undoubtedly appreciate, for this material incoming information, which is entering through your circuits, if you will. The ego is the flip switch. This is the means whereby you maintain your systems. You know when to rest, when to rise, what you like and do not like. The ego enables your protection as material beings, not only protection, but choice, engagement, and the ability to navigate very real forces in your now. Nonetheless, this ego is but one function. You call it ego. We shall use that terminology. This is your mandate, if you will, to go, go, go. This is your life. This is your pleasure. Is that found in speed, in your approach, in your departure, how you appear in form with dress, cloth, color, for others, as well as yourself when you visit your mirror. This is the ego function, and it is worthy and valid. The task here is to balance your personal perceived needs to show up for yourself and others with your awareness of that which is greater than your ego. The aperture of your ego is personal and therefore quite small. And at the same time, it is infinity, or your personal is your means of encountering that which is eternal. Your practice is to move through the personal to the eternal. She is droning in a vacuum. The turning of the wheel, this is an expression she has encountered. The wheel of fortune, you call it this, the spokes on a wheel which turn in movement and change. Observing this wheel is one of your fortunate circumstances, for in your life here, this material life, you are able to encounter the effects, the sensual, the effects of this wheel turning, the crunch, the whirring, the worrying, for change engenders much. And it is this display of much which brings pleasure. This is the trust. We are understanding the theme that this one has been dwelling on. And the trust is what enables you to detach, to enjoy the display without fixating, without hooking on. Can you imagine, dear ones? Imagine this picture of a gigantic wheel and you hook onto one part and you are whirled around in chaotic perceptions. The wheel is turning you. This is not the way. The way is one whereby you apprehend, and we mean this as perceive. You may consider apprehension as a holding. We do not intend to hold. We do not intend to instruct you to hold the wheel. That is, unless you have reached a certain level of detachment. We are very careful. These words, mm, detache, detouch, detouch, of physical imagery, of allowing what is to be with the image of touching. Perhaps there is a measure of interference, and that is not necessarily to be avoided. However, for the purpose of practice, it might prove more productive to lead you forward toward wisdom in simply detaching in the most profoundly compassionate sense, to allow whatever will happen to happen, and to know that whichever and whatever manifestation of that happening is on the wheel, is held in structure. There is chaos, yes, but the chaos is merely the border. Someone of you has said, the border of understanding. You are called often to go beyond the borders of your understanding. And that is where you apprehend with detachment. It is our effort here to share. We do not mean to teach. We enable a sharing. This communion is perhaps your idea of teaching. For us, it is a matter of union with breath. Come back to breath, and we will share with you something she has discovered many years hence. The sound of your breath, the wind. You mentioned, Reagan, casting to the wind. The sound of breath is at once the wind, and on the exhale, perhaps it is the sound of waves, the universe of wind and wave. Note the W. You too can be a vessel for wind and waves of understanding. Just listen, and if you can engender an encounter with nature, your nature. And when we say your nature, we indicate the nature of your planet, or your consciousness, as many of you are beginning to understand, is at one with your nature. The mind of your planet is at one with you as human beings. accessing this connectivity with earth and with nature, the segue between nature as you perceive it outside of yourselves and the self nature that you encounter with breath and with meditation, internal communion. This internal communion is no different from your communion with nature. There are wounds that are coming to realization, the mindlessness which has accompanied many of your developments is becoming recognized, and you, my dears, may practice this mindfulness with joy. It is not such a serious endeavor. The couching of religion and structures that mold your psyche must be cast aside, for the vessels of your own understanding are sufficient. This is the shift in understanding. Your species is no longer relying on that which is said to you from external forces, which you may or may not understand. Anything which is to be of service for you comes with understanding. And that understanding manifests as forces pass through your own vessel, your container, if you will, your structural template, your cellular basis is your means for understanding. If this is the design, any form lends itself towards this process of building towards conscious activity, engaging in forces both within and without. As humans, the light of your understanding is that which can and shall be developed. Use your senses, gain joy from the smallest of red berries, from the tiny seeds that sprout. Learn the processes through which you too evolve, grow, and expand. Your death process is but a shedding of the husk of a seed whose understanding is developed in the here and now. The process is all. We feel this is perhaps enough, and we shall withdraw